Just threw my shoulder out.
Oh, no, getting so excited with that theme music.
I raised my arm in the air and forgot that I had a shoulder injury. Oh, dear. Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Let's Talk. And this is, Let's Talk is a listener call-in forum program, discussion space, place for everyone to call in. Not just listen to the radio, but actually take part in a program.
That's power.
It's cool, isn't it?
Power.
I think it's great.
I think we're wonderful to give people the chance to do that. We're saints, really, aren't we?
Okay, we might be pushing it there.
Pushing it a bit far. Yes, and of course, your voice matters, and we really do welcome your thoughts and views on everything we talk about. And
what are we talking about today?
We could even go off topic if you like.
Anything's possible.
I think we do, actually.
Anything is possible.
We're not fussy. The numbers to call. There are two lines here. And sometimes you hear weird noises as they kind of overlap a little bit. But you'll hear a noise as I put you in a little screechy noise as I put you in the system. Hang on until you hear me say you are on the air. And then give us a name. Turn whatever your listening device is down so we don't get feedback. And please, this is live radio, so keep the language decent.
Hey, you Ohio listeners.
Mixing it up there, huh?
Make it decent.
We want to hear from the Ohio listeners today.
Ohio listeners?
Yeah,
we've
got a following there.
Well, now,
really?
We have a following in Ohio.
Oh, and Minnesota, too.
I went back to Ohio. Today's topic is life satisfaction.
I can't get me no.
Exactly.
Satisfaction.
And it's satisfaction with your life. It's not just, are you happy right now? It's not about, are you happy right now? It's not, are you in a good mood? It's about how you feel about the course of your life, the way it has been, the way it's proceeding right now, and what you see for the future in your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm interested in how whether when people age, their satisfaction.
Well, that is interesting because apparently in one of the surveys that has been done, and there have been many, there's a branch of psychology called positive psychology. And they study this all the time. You've seen the happiness indexes for other countries, where Denmark,
Finland, I think, is number one.
And all those are, and the U.S. is like 27th out of, no, it's not bad, out of 170
I was going to say, that's
countries.
Pretty good.
Could be worse, apparently.
But it's not just about that.
Could be Chad.
It's not just happiness. I mean, that is a satisfaction with life index that has done that nationally or globally. Let's say they do questionnaires in all countries. But this is really about your personal experiences. And there was a correlation with old age. And I think it was fairly positive, actually.
I think so, yeah.
Which is interesting because, I'm sure there are people out there who think,
well, if you're a late bloomer like me, it can take a while before you reach
you're so
that.
young.
Reach that peak that you've been climbing for. I don't know.
Well, so
for example...
setting goals.
My goals when I was a little kid was to grow up and live in a peaceful home.
Nice.
Now that I'm in my late 50s, I'm living in a peaceful home.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And does this mean you're living
a huge difference in your satisfaction?
Well,
it's a lonely existence, but it's quiet.
I'm not alone. I do have a partner.
Yes, you do.
In my life,
a fabulous partner.
And we've had our bumps, but we worked out most of them, and and now it's just ordinary little bumps.
Just the bumps.
Yeah, just little bumps.
I guess relationships, that's an important ingredient in
or not,
satisfaction.
right? To not have a relationship might help.
Some people.
Right.
Yeah. No, mostly, let's go to that. Let's get to that, because there is, here we are, how to be more satisfied with your life. There are 5 points that this psychologist makes.
Let's check this out.
Here we are. Having a lot of close friends boosts life satisfaction by nearly 20%.
Whoops.
In fact, having a better social life can be worth as much as an additional $131,232 a year in terms of life satisfaction.
No change on that?
Understand.
What a weird correlation.
I do not understand.
Why aren't they correlating it with money?
I know.
Well, it seems money
there's
is a
link
correlation.
there, but I'm not going to hit that link right
now.
now.
All the things I looked up, money seems to be a correlation for sure in satisfaction.
To a certain point, right? I mean, it doesn't increase. There's a certain point to where people feel comfortable and satisfied, and then everything beyond that.
Yeah.
Right. Is Jeff Bezos more satisfied with his life than me, for example? I think not.
Probably not. But if you're struggling financially,
of course. Poverty
that can be a serious...
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course.
It creates a lot of stress.
It's a lot of stress, and you tend to be less satisfied, I'm guessing. And then, unless you feel like your things are kicking along, I mean, it's not. Some people, we know someone who has sort of chosen to be impoverished most of the time. He seems to have a wonderful life. Until he won't. I don't know.
Call in if let us know.
If you like your neighbors. If you like your neighbors, that's a double-digit boost in life satisfaction too. I don't know. This is really badly written, isn't it?
Yeehaw.
Positive feelings about neighbors have been found to be associated with a 16% greater life satisfaction and a 25% lower likelihood of experiencing feelings of loneliness. Well, duh. Okay.
I think it affects your health, too, and I know it affects your heart health if you are not getting, if you don't have the satisfaction of friends and good neighbor relationships.
Part of the reason
connection.
that religion is makes people happy and satisfied with their lives is the community. Yes, of course.
So
are
the
you
top
mentoring
3
a
all
young?
have to do with community.
Are you mentoring a young person? It's 4 times more predictive of happiness than your health or how much money you make. That's interesting. The second one is have a life story. Research shows that meaning in life comes from the stories we tell ourselves about our lives. Have you ever tried writing that story down? People who do are more than 10% happier with their lives. How do they come up with this idea?
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder who wrote this. I mean,
sounding pretty bogus.
What publication?
It's in Time magazine.
Time.
Oh, well, that's the
and
source.
it's written by Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel Prize winner and author of Thinking Fast and Slow.
There we go.
Who gave a TED Talk where he explained it all. Have a life story. What's next? Children who know the stories of those who came before them have higher self-esteem and a sense of control over their lives.
That's, interesting.
Then there's a little thing here. Marshall and Robin asked those questions of 4 dozen families in the summer of 2001, also taped several of their dinner table conversations. They compared the children's results to a battery of psychological tests and reached some overwhelming conclusions. The more children knew about their family's history, the stronger their sense of control over their lives, the higher their self-esteem, and the more successfully they believed their families functioned.
Out of 12 families.
Well, you know.
That seems to be a really small...
It's a small sample.
Yeah.
But I think, does that hold true, you think? How do you feel about your family dynamic? I mean, you know the history of your family going back, how many generations? 13, 14 generations?
Me? No. I am third generation.
Well, you must have a great
have almost no
satisfaction of
recollection of my grandparents at all. There's a big gap.
But no stories? No family stories about Uncle Fred?
I do have family stories, yeah. Not all of them are
Well, I could mention the story of my grandmother on my father's side. She told the story of how she wanted to be a ballerina when she was a little girl, and her mother wouldn't let her because it was against their religion to dance, is the story that I received. And when my grandmother became 80 and quit her job finally, she became a performer, and finally she got a chance to dance.
My goodness.
And so,
Aw.
I learned a lot from her experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be in a religion that doesn't let you dance. It's one of those lessons. Goals. Have goals. Well, I've gotten along without goals. But anyway, people with goals are nearly 20% more satisfied with their lives. Those who are passionate about something score higher across the board on positive psychological indicators. So elderly individuals who were harmoniously passionate scored higher on various indicators such as life satisfaction, meaning in life, and vitality.
I think that's a big one. That's a big one.
Is a consistent amount of minor successes produces much more satisfaction than occasionally having some big thing happen. So just, I guess that means set your goals really low.
Well, I think it's the little things.
I got my socks on again. Yeah.
No, I think it's the little things though that really add up to satisfaction. If you're a gardener, for example, you can really enjoy, your time in the garden. That's satisfaction. If you
Lovely.
socialize,
Yeah.
the little things. It's not.
It's not the money. Money isn't the answer, is the next one.
Well, I consider that people might have more problems with more money.
The more materialistic people are, however they measured that, the less satisfied they are with their lives. Among participants in one study, those whose values were the most materialistic rated their lives as the least satisfying.
I can kind of start to imagine that because they're focusing their attention on the things instead of on what's important, like we were just talking about, right?
Yeah, friends and
connection.
family and
Yeah.
And the last one is keep growing. Have you seen changes in what you believe over the past few months? I don't know what that means. Viewpoints or behavior when things change. I don't know. Older people who continue to read and learn are much more satisfied with their lives. And we have a caller. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name, please?
Good morning, everybody. It's MK.
Hi,
I knew
MK.
you were going to call. Hi, MK.
Did you know that?
I just had a feeling.
We did.
You little psycho or psychic. Yeah, gosh, what an interesting subject. Wow, I have really nice neighbors. I love my neighbors.
Oh,
It's a
good.
great neighborhood to live in. I don't have a lot of close friends. I don't really care about that. I have some that are marvelous and wonderful and put up with a lot of crap, and so do I. So they people that are interesting and changeable and mercurial and that's kind of people I like.
Ah.
Goals. That's an interesting one because I was talking to my friend this morning, and he said that if you ever sometimes when you reach a goal, that happiness, he seemed to equate satisfaction with happiness. And I don't think I've ever gone into anything, even a marriage, with the idea of happiness being the goal. I think that calculated risk has a lot to do with my life anyway.
Huh.
And you got to be ready to take the hit if you mess up, and deal with the consequences of your behavior, which has been a big deal in my life. But happiness. Somebody wrote, happiness is when you don't have a broken leg. It's so sort of subjective that
Yeah.
it's wonderful. But I also know deeply that you do not understand the exquisite aspects of happiness unless you've been to the other extreme.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's my
Wow, and I must
My
really know
children.
how to be happy.
Yeah, honey.
Well, you certainly feel like you're a happy person.
I'm not necessarily happy right now,
Uh-huh.
but this disease I have is awful and it's confusing. So, but I'm rising above it as well as I can. And I went out and after I heard what your subject was this morning, I went out and chopped off all the mildew leaves off the pumpkins and let them ripen in the
There you
So
go.
how's
You
your
know,
satisfaction, though? You were
That's
talking
the
about happiness.
satisfaction. Yes, exactly.
Where's the satisfaction level for you?
Huh? What?
How satisfied are you? We're talking
With your life.
vis-a-vis.
My life?
We're not talking about happiness per se. We're talking about satisfaction.
Satisfaction is that it's as long as there are ways out, as long as there are escape routes, I don't want to settle into satisfaction and become a bump on a log. You know, I want to keep learning and I want to keep living and I want to keep experiencing
Yeah.
as long as I possibly can. And I think that's off a hole that people fall into if they haven't. I've just been so incredibly lucky with the kind of stimulation I've gotten from my family's minds and close friends' minds and lovers' minds and, you know, my kids' minds. And it's wonderful to be open to that. But I can't not be open. So I get bashed around a lot.
Well, that's good. So that's like curiosity, open-mindedness, friends and family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's all contributing factors to satisfaction, I would guess.
I think having meaning in your life is a big one.
Right.
I
Meaning?
think having meaning in your
Boy,
life,
that's
yeah.
a tough one right now. Well, it's not bad. I mean, I do have meaning, but it's so hard when you have no energy to.
Yeah, serious illness
Follow up.
obviously is an impediment to satisfaction.
Sure, it is, but I'm reading a lot of stuff about other people with Parkinson's, and a lot of people just are faced with families who don't support them and are just nasty to them and make fun of them, and I can't imagine putting up with that, and getting into a position where they would feel that was behavior that was acceptable. I mean, it's just not.
Yeah.
So I feel very, very fortunate that I'm in a place where nobody says, "Oh, quit that shaking! You're making me nervous."
Wow.
I've heard people actually say to shaky old people.
I have a
It's
friend with
horrible.
Parkinson's. He's a photographer, and he came up with something called Shaky Cam, where he didn't fight it. He used it. He put together a whole series of shaky photographs, and
Wonderful.
yeah, and the Parkinson's Institute or whoever, they've bought a number of his photographs. Yeah,
So yeah, it's the taking the lemon and making lemonade
Yep.
kind of
Exactly.
idea. Yeah.
Sure, it is.
Yeah, I think the ability to evolve, right, and grow over time and be open to new things.
People try to do that, or does it just happen? I mean, I can't. I can't
I
imagine.
think it's an active pursuit. I do. Yeah.
You do. I don't know. I have to think about that. I don't know one way or the other.
Well, because I mean, maybe there's a certain amount of evolving that happens over time just naturally without you trying or thinking about it. But I think the satisfaction comes in when you are making choices about your growth, when you're moving towards things that excite you, or moving towards things that you're afraid of but you've always wanted to try. That enriches the life rather than just letting life happen to you.
That's interesting.
well, I agree with you on this business of taking risk. I think that you risk your life is a little more on the edge, more exciting.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
You're vulnerable, but you also can reach new levels, which are new growth, which is obviously part of satisfaction. This business of growing.
Yeah, I'm starting a new project just to keep me busy and see if I can do it. And I was going through a whole bunch of old photographs, and I found this trove of stuff, like letters. I have one letter from an old lover's mother, which was much.
Stay away from my son.
Well, yeah. It was very interesting circumstances. I won't go into, but when we're on the air, anyway. But it's so. When I was on the island lighthouse sitting in 1990, I met some really great people, and a lot of people who I sort of knew but didn't know, and so there's a lot of that in here, and old letters of recommendation from people and all kinds of stuff. So it's really fun to have the past dredged up and thrown in your face. A visual memory is very important, I think. I think maybe that's going to be lost because you're not going to be able to go through the album sitting on your grandma's lap if everything's an email. It's really too bad. It's like, it's not going to be the collected letters of Paul Raffel. It's going to be the collected emails of Paul Raffel.
Oh,
yeah,
I know.
It's the same ring. It's a temporary sort of thing.
But they're all gems, nonetheless.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're marvelous, darling. But yeah. Anyway,
Well,
keep up the good. Hope other people call in.
yeah, thank you,
How are
MK.
ya?
Thank you very much.
All right.
Have a
day.
satisfying life.
I'll talk to you next week, maybe.
All right, thanks,
Okay.
MK.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. If you want to call, the
Yes.
numbers are 415-663-8492 or 8317, and we want to know about your life satisfaction.
I don't think it depends on whether you want to. I say you must call. It's required. And
Yeah,
it
live on
may
the
help
edge.
with your
Take a
life
risk.
satisfaction. Taking risks is part of it, I think. That thing about not letting life happen to you. I'm not sure about that because my life
I think
my life kind of happened to me. I mean, it worked for me.
There's
let's put it that way.
certain things where life happens to you, but it's then what do you do with it?
Yeah.
Right? So part of it is noticing. Wow, this great
Exactly.
opportunity is in my lap. It's not what I thought of, but
True.
let's
This is
give
unexpected.
it a try. Yeah.
Let's give it a try.
Right.
In some sense, though, you're also talking about your story, the stuff that happened to you. So you're looking back at what your life was like. I'm at that stage where I'm looking back and I'm noticing a whole bunch of stuff that I'm wondering, gee.
Really?
Yeah.
You regret or you're amazed that it happened?
There
or
are
what?
some regrets, yeah. There are.
And other things, how did that happen?
Well, there are a lot.
How lucky am I?
Well,
that kind
I
of
would
thing?
say I was very fortunate. Looking back, and I think maybe I'm being too sensitive. A lot of people just scratch off the things that I'm regretting, and but you can't determine that.
I killed a man in Tucson once.
Oh, no.
Just because he looked at me the wrong way. That kind of
There
thing.
is a song for that.
Yeah, what's the story, Stephen?
I think
We want to know.
there is a confessional aspect to looking back and regret and all those things, which I'm not going to go into. I'm leaving the
Interesting.
confessions to Shelley.
Someday.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah, I get to be the vulnerable one.
Someday we'll
I'm
feed
trying to
him
model
full of-
that for you, Stephen.
I
Feed him
see.
full of truth drugs. And we'll just have a 3-hour show, The Confessions of Stephen Hurwitz.
That's right.
That would be
And you
great,
got a
wouldn't
show coming up.
I do.
That could get people in there. They got to see
Oh, you
this.
have an art show coming up.
I do. Talk about taking risk,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, so now
getting it
there.
out there.
You're both artists and satisfying,
I think it definitely contributes towards satisfaction for me.
shall I?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
what you wanted to be. It's
Yeah. Well, I like to play around creatively, and I get to do that and in all different ways. So it does make me feel satisfied.
excellent.
Because, I spent about 15 years working in a nonprofit where I was so drained working there that I really didn't have a lot of energy left for my creative expression. So, Now I've changed my life around so that I have more time for that. And yes, I'm feeling a lot more satisfied.
Excellent. Let that be a lesson.
Well,
to
you know,
everyone.
that's a good question. Having free time, how does that contribute? And I think that's one of those reasons that as people get older, they might have more free time to pursue things that, like Shelley says, more creative stuff. You're not as drained by that workaday world.
Well, it also had to do with raising kids. You know,
That's another one. Well,
yeah, my kids are grown now. My dad's not with me anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so at this point, it's just me and my art and my partner and living in a beautiful place. And yay.
Yay. It's working out. Everything's good.
But, you know, the story that led up to that
Yeah.
was, you know, it was rough.
A rough childhood, a rough home life in the beginning. And
well, you know, just all
that life throws at you, and here you are
from
looking
being a kid
wonderful and cheerful
to, you know, getting to here. All that in between was challenging. Not that there weren't good parts, but there was quite a struggle.
Well, you definitely have a story. There's no question about it.
I do.
And
we all do.
The story here is that this is KWMR. FM 90.5 in Point Reyes Station, 89.9 in Bolinas, and 92.3 in San Geronimo Valley, streaming online at kwmr.org and on your mobile phone app. Support for KWMR programming is provided by the California Film Institute, celebrating film and media as art, entertainment, and education at the Christopher B. Smith Raphael Film Center, the Mill Valley Film Festival, and through CFI education programs. Information at cafilm.org. And we're also supported by Marin Agricultural Land Trust, a member-supported non-profit organization working to preserve Marin County farmland. On the web at malt.org. That's MALT.org. And local programming for KWMR is provided, of course, by listener members and calendar club members and everyone who listens in and donates. Thank you so much to all of you. And by Point Reyes Books, offering a wide selection of books, magazines, greeting cards, and author events. Books can be ordered in-store as well as online at ptreyesbooks.com. That's PTREYES books.com. And this is Let's Talk, which is intended to be a place where listeners can call in and join the discussion on air without judgment from the three co-hosts here, Paul Raphael, Shelley Rugg, Stephen Hurwitz, pillars of the community.
And this is 1 hour where I withhold judgment.
1 hour where our judgment is withheld and you can say anything you like, except you must keep it clean. You must keep the language clean. Numbers are 415-663-8492 or 8317. And yes, you'll hear me say you're on the air. Wait until you hear that, and then turn off your listening device. And as I said, keep the language decent. And today we are talking about life satisfaction. And this sort of came across, this is actually what spurred this off. I just bumped into this thing, the Life Satisfaction Index questionnaire.
Okay.
Did you look at it?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, ask
I
us some
send out
questions.
these wonderful emails and nobody does.
I looked at something else that you had a link to, and it was so
Good.
It was so complicated.
People just don't read anymore.
Just copy and paste. Good grief.
I know. I
Copy
apologize.
and paste.
I really apologize.
Good Lord. Professionals. Ha. Oh, that's right.
No,
We're not.
volunteer. Sorry.
So it has questions such as,
Okay, here we go.
as I grow older, things seem better than I thought they would be. Well, I guess
expected it to be better.
you expected it to be better? Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You, Stephen?
I think I'm enjoying old age from that perspective. I mean, I don't even consider myself into old age yet, but
I guess Pete
some people
Townsend and Roger Daltrey are feeling better than they expected. Hope I die before I get old. Remember that line?
I just don't know
My
about
generation.
the better or worse. I have trouble with that.
Yeah, I
Categorizing
spoke
it.
to somebody
Okay.
the other day said they wanted to die when they were 84.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can see that.
Fine.
You know,
What have they
before
got
things
against 85?
before things rot.
Really
You know.
Oh, dear.
But,
Is
you
that
know-
when it happens?
See, I had a grandmother who was performing in her 90s, so
Yeah, exactly.
I'm ready.
all
I'm
these arbitrary
looking forward.
numbers.
Yes.
I have gotten more breaks in life than most of the people I know. And you do this, you rate these on agree, disagree, don't know, something like that.
Hard breaks, good breaks.
Yeah, I don't know.
would
And
say yes
they
on that
narrowed
one.
it down. This was a 20 question questionnaire, and then they narrowed it down to 11. So here are some of the 11. This is the dreariest time of my life. Agree, disagree?
Oh,
Disagree.
That was easy.
I am just as happy as when I was younger. Agree, disagree?
Well, I mean,
It's different, isn't
I'm
it?
happier.
It's all different.
I think I'm less oblivious as when I was younger, which is I think that's positive.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I look back and I say, where
So
were
I would
you?
say disagree because I'm happier.
Okay. My life could be happier than it is now. That's a ridiculous question.
Yes.
Of course it can. These are the best years of my life. Agree, disagree. Best.
You know, I
They're-
could do without the sciatica,
It's all, yeah.
Yeah.
The rotator cuff.
the turkey waddle developing under the chin.
But I think that's a silly question, though, isn't it? These are the best years of my life. And all years are different. Youth was youthful and dynamic and energetic and wasted.
Every year of your life has the potential to have some great stuff
Exactly.
and some rotten stuff.
Most of the things I do are boring or monotonous.
No.
No. Disagree. Disagree? We all disagree with that one. I hope you're all listening out there. Let us know what your answers are.
Yeah, if you have a non-boring life, we want to hear about it.
Oh,
Call
here.
in.
I expect some interesting and pleasant things to happen to me in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Agree? Agree? It's
you
all
know,
got to be interesting.
I'm not thinking about
I
what I
just been-
expect, though.
I've been meeting so many new people, you know, since I moved out here. I feel like it's got to lead to something unexpected.
There you are. Yeah, you never know, right? I mean, the more people you make contact with,
Yeah.
little ripples intersect and things happen that you had no idea was going to happen.
Surprises are around every corner.
And it's what you make of it, obviously.
Well,
especially in art. I think that my mistakes are probably the more creative ends than the things that I set out to and know where I'm going. I think when I screw something up, then I have a real chance to let go, I guess, is the word.
Yeah.
It's like, why not? It's already
You already made a mess of it.
lousy.
How much worse can you make
Yeah,
it?
exactly. I can do anything I want now.
Yeah, isn't it all? I mean, all these questions. I have to say they're kind of disappointing, but
That's why
they
I
do
skipped
make
that
they do
link.
make you kind of consider. Perhaps you're feeling down in the dumps one day. You know, a transient mood might strike, and you read these questions and you answer them, and you go, "Oh well, not so bad." We hope, or you answer them all, and you go, "Oh man, this is worse." Number 10 is I feel old and somewhat tired.
Oh.
No, I don't think so.
I do know that I don't have the level of energy that I had when I was in my 30s and 40s now.
Right, well, of course,
You know,
but
it does change.
that's part of
But
it.
from the inside, looking out onto the world, I'm the same person.
Yeah. Yeah, right. There's that, the cliche is that inside the 80-year-old man is the 40, 30-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Still thinks of himself, and then he looks in the mirror and goes,
Who is that?
I would not change my past life even if I could.
No.
As much as
You disagree with that?
I think I would change my past life.
Oh.
I'd be more appreciative, I think. Yeah.
I actually know for sure that even though I can say I had some miserable experiences in my past, I learned so much that I'm able to use now in the present. That's shaped me into who I am and what I'm capable of. And so the hardship actually made me stronger.
You would be a different person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course. Everything, your
We all
life
would
adds
be,
up.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're 30 years old, 20 years old, the experiences you've had so far is what shapes you, and what you've been taught. Whoever your mentors are, they've tried to influence how you react to things, how you deal with life, and yeah.
I think for just to insert this really quickly, more than like going after something in life or just accepting what shows up, is where do you have to set a boundary? When do you go, oh my God, I'm miserable, time to change something?
Yeah, right.
Because there's a lot of people that just fall into acceptance of a miserable state of being in their lives. And, they don't have to. But change is hard. Change is hard.
Yeah. Especially if you are, if you have clinical depression or, it's hard to do anything, physical or mental or make plans or anything.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can sit around and say, "Well, this part of my life I don't like, and I think I'll just change it." I don't think it's that easy. Really.
I've done it so many times.
It's not easy.
Yeah, I don't think it's easy.
I never said it was easy.
Yeah, for me, I have to decide.
It's hard.
It's hard.
I have to weigh it.
But I would say it's worth it.
Is this something I want to put that kind of energy in, or can I just?
I don't think you've ever been that miserable.
No,
that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's true.
Yeah.
I have made plans for things I'll be doing a month or a year from now.
Have I made plans?
I have made plans for things I'll be doing a month or a year from now. Agree, disagree, don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I have a very complicated life, so I have to plan ahead.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking of all the plans. I think it's more, this is what I'm doing today.
He's having a show.
You're having a show?
He had to plan ahead
which I've been working on very hard, by the way.
So you made a future
it's plan. Been a goal, and it's been satisfying.
There you are.
There you are,
but not because it was easy.
GRO,
you keep bringing up this easy thing. No. Yeah, having a satisfying life doesn't necessarily mean it's a piece of cake.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
No, exactly.
You definitely need those challenges.
The only planning I've been doing is for my trip coming up.
No.
I shan't be here next week or for the next 5 shows.
Oh, I know.
Yes, you'll just have to.
And callers, we're going to need you. Okay, so the numbers are.
There will be somebody else.
Write this down and put it on your refrigerator, 415-663-8492 or 8317, because Stephen and I won't have Paul here, and we're going to need you to call us. I'm not crying.
And you won't be getting the blurb in the mail, maybe.
I think I'm going to write them.
Different lists. We'll have different lists. So don't be surprised if
things might change.
That really bothersome email doesn't turn up.
Oh, no.
Well, if I send it to you, will you email it out to the list?
I'm not. I'm taking a break from electronics,
so
basically.
If I write something up,
I can post
how
it
do
on
I get
Facebook.
It out there?
Go to Facebook, KWM, Let's Talk
on
KWMR.
That's where you post yours?
Yeah.
Paul made me an admin, so.
Yeah.
Great.
So you can send it to me, and then I'll post it on Facebook.
I'm going to write them, but they're not in any way, shape, or form going to be the exhaustive...
amazing pieces of literature.
I read yours and I go, well, I don't have anything to say. He's done it all.
We're done now. We'll just read this
over
and over.
Through. Yeah. Got it all worked out. Okay, what else?
I've gotten pretty much what I expected out of life.
No,
I've gotten more.
Oh, Excellent. You too?
No, I've had some things where I invested a lot of time and energy, money, and that didn't make it. Yeah.
Regrets. So
regrets from that. That's not where my regrets lie. That's just where my expectations of success didn't
pan out.
Yeah.
But all life lessons, I mean, you learn from the experiences.
Oh, yeah. That's what they always used to say. Well, chalk it up to experience. That's
Well, it's all good, though. Here's one just for you, then. Compared to other people my age, I've made a lot of foolish decisions in my life.
no more than anyone else, I think.
I totally have.
Well, see, here's the thing. The decisions that you make, I'm all for making on-the-spot decisions myself. I like things. As I said, life has happened to me mostly, and things come along. And if you're there and you're not too afraid of what's going to happen, you kind of go, yeah, okay.
Well, wasn't it a conscious decision for you to get on a sailboat and sail around the world? I think that can't just happen to somebody.
It just happened.
He didn't go after it.
I didn't look for it. I didn't go. I didn't go to a marina and walk around like so many people do. Go around a yacht harbor asking, "Do you need any crew?" This guy just. He had a little tiny boat, and he said, "You want to sail to America?"
Now I made it. Yeah.
No, well, I've never sailed before. Yeah, okay.
I made a risky choice to hitchhike all over the United States and Canada with some friends. But what I didn't have control over was who would pick us up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Certainly.
And that's where all the surprises happened.
Sure.
And they were mostly good.
Yeah, I think people.
And that's what was so magical about it.
I think people who pick up hitchhikers in general are friendly people doing something they consider good. When I hitchhiked, everybody that picked me up I liked.
Yeah.
I was very lucky in that regard.
Yeah.
I've heard stories otherwise, but...
Well, a lot of, as you said, a lot of people who pick you up when you're hitchhiking, if that even happens. Does anyone hitchhike anymore? Right?
A little bit
Every
around
so
here.
often you see one person wandering along with their thumb out, but it's often people who are worried about you.
Right.
See you on the side of the road and they think, "Oh, we should get them out of here."
Yeah.
And the experience of being picked up and then them saying, "Oh, do you want to stay the night at our place?"
Right.
There were two of us, and we'll sure put us up for the night. Gave us a tour of the countryside around where we were. It was those kinds of things that happen, and very rarely do you get bad things. The beer can thrown at you. It's like, dissatisfied kids, I'm guessing. Getting back to the subject of life satisfaction.
Having children, I think that's a source of satisfaction for a lot of people, even with all the complexity of the process.
I've heard that.
It could be a source of insanity as well.
Grandchildren, I've talked to a lot of, I'm in that era of my life where a lot of people are having grandchildren, and I think they're very happy with the prospects.
Nice to be a doting grandparent.
Yeah, I have one grandchild, and I have to say I do really enjoy that. But I'm not the mom,
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And I can pass on wisdom and, things like that without it being my job.
Yeah.
And also, kids relate to their parents in a very particular way because it's part of their growth and learning and testing boundaries and all of that. So it's hard on parents. You can have kids. I know with my kids, and I think it's true for most, you do a good job parenting them, but they still can like make you want to pull your hair out. And then, you know, they are over at a friend's house and the mom says, "Oh, your child is so lovely and so polite." And they're like, "Thank you." So you know you're doing a good job.
Yes.
Raising a good kid, but they might treat you horribly.
That
can happen.
But that's what you're training them for, is how to act in the outside world, right? Not around the house so much. Although I must say I was a very obedient child.
Oh.
I was very nice.
Lovely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely person.
Well, you might have had
call,
lovely parents, you know.
I did. 415-663-8492. Give us a call. How satisfied are you with your life? You know, no judgments here. It doesn't matter if you feel something's lacking or if you feel really good about what's happened and positive about the future. Give us a call. 415-663-8492.
This is a future that's really tough to be positive about on so many levels.
You're right, Stephen. You're right.
You talk about positive about the
back to reality.
My goodness.
Yeah. Well, I think satisfaction lies in coming back home into your body and having those connections that are important in your life with your loved ones, your friends, your family. You know, we have to make the best of it. And I think in the case of what we're looking at right now with climate change, you know, there could be satisfaction in doing something to help in some way, whether it's just getting the word out about it, talking about it, or making changes in your own world that help.
Mm-hmm. I think people do. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. That's all.
I think people do things that make them feel good. I think that's really one of the tests. And if you're a complainer, you complain because it makes you feel good to complain.
Right.
Give us a call and complain. 415-663-8492. Well, so it's, yes, it's certainly an interesting, let's say, future that seems to be dawning.
Every day there's a new surprise.
Yeah. So what plans can you make for such a world? You have no idea what's going to happen. Local resilience is, community is more important than ever because we're all going to have to be hunkering down at some point.
Our local communities.
And helping one another is going to be more important than, what's going on nationally.
Back to the village model.
Yeah. We're very fortunate, though, living here because we don't have these cataclysmic, reoccurring disasters.
Not yet. No.
We had the big fire, Inverness Ridge fire, which was cataclysmic, but we don't have hurricanes blowing through and what?
Well, not yet. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Tidal surges wiping out houses.
Oceans are getting more acidic, and we're
full of
all
plastic.
The overfishing we've done and the plastic. Yeah,
nuclear
it's going to be a
fallout.
whole new thing. So,
okay,
be
now
satisfied
I'm
with your
not
lives.
satisfied anymore. Thanks, everyone.
Funny how these discussions always get back to that. But, trying to think positively about the future.
Well, it's our mental health, right? Being able to get up in the morning and have breakfast and go out into the day and do our thing, whether, that's going for a walk or going to work, whatever it is.
So having a satisfying job, you mentioned work, I think it's a big one. If it's a struggle at work every day, you have to go there and you need the money. And
yeah. I know I've been a consumer at places of business where I get this feeling that the people who work there don't like their job, and it makes me dissatisfied as a consumer.
I've been reading about working at Amazon, and your job, you're completely controlled down to the number of seconds they allot for you to accomplish a task.
That's because they're getting ready to switch to robots.
Yeah. Yes, again, there's another uncertain part of the future.
If you're unsatisfied in a job, that's a great example of something that you might want to change, right?
except we get locked in, though. Sometimes your
don't
job
have
is
to.
your health insurance. You've got a family.
See, that's where my risk-taking comes in. I throw caution to the wind all the time because I just don't want to be miserable.
I can see it. Well,
But then people living in places where there is no employment, what are the alternatives? End up on the street? I don't know.
We're not all equipped the same way.
The Life Satisfaction Index questionnaire.
Yes.
Everyone should take a look at it, I think.
I'm definitely going to take a look now that you've
Just
shamed
search
me.
for it. There's other ones too. There's another one that's just 6 questions, which are,
Wow, only 6 questions?
Well, they don't seem very good.
You didn't like their questions?
They're too sort of general.
Well, no, if you look at the countries where people are satisfied, I think Finland is at the top of the list.
Denmark, I think, is topping it right now, yeah.
Is it? Well, then I'm looking at old stats. But I think if you look at those things, there are characteristics that they share in common.
Such
Can
as?
you think of?
Well, yeah, I think that they don't have high populations, number one. That I think that they are homogeneous.
Oh.
And I think that's one of the big tremors to the fore, so to speak, in Europe right now. And the fact is that the population is becoming less homogeneous.
You mean more varied?
Yes.
Yes. Well,
but
okay.
so you have a state that has a lot of positive care that's built into the system.
Oh,
we had a caller.
Well, yes, it's a feeling that life, that there are safety nets, perhaps.
Yeah,
that's good. We have a caller. Hi, caller. We have a couple of minutes. What's your name, please?
My name's David.
David, how are you?
Yeah. I cringe when I hear things like life satisfaction quizzes. I never take them because I just know that I'm going to fail.
Well, there is no fail, I know. It's a psychological questionnaire. It's
it'll make you dissatisfied, is what you're saying.
Well, why? You're not satisfied with your life?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
What do you think is the core cause of your dissatisfaction?
Oh, it's kind of a general alienation.
Oh, no.
Alienation,
So
I could see that.
So why? You mean in me?
No, I can see alienation is a big factor in people die because of it. Really, elderly who are isolated, etc. It really hastens their demise.
Yeah.
So you feel isolated, David?
I do in some ways. Yeah. I mean, I know it's internal. I can go out and talk to people. But I've had, there were 3 men friends in my adult life who I lost for various reasons because they betrayed me in one way or another. And that's been painful to not have those people. I don't have a lover at this point. So
relationships are a big one for you. Is that what we're hearing?
Yeah. And I'm grateful. I have a business that supports me and gives me social contact and gives structure to my life. But it's based on the business, which I am grateful for that. I'm grateful for what I have there. But in terms of being life satisfying, I mean, if I didn't have it, my life would be much less satisfying. So. I have to think about that. But,
Well, are you thinking about ways that you can change that? Sorry.
Sorry. Well, we got to wrap it up, David.
I'm sorry, David.
Okay.
We have to go.
Thank you so much for calling.
But, give us a call. This has been Let's Talk, and thanks to all our listeners and callers. KWMR does not take a stand on any of the issues discussed on Let's Talk. Opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts and callers and don't necessarily reflect the views of KWMR, its board of directors, underwriters, or members. I won't be back next week, but Shelley and Stephen will be.
See you then.
We'll see you then. Bye.